Hello and welcome to another warframe video. In this one, we're going to take a look at Kuva Nukor. I'm going to show you priming build as well as a DPS build that I love to use. So let's get started. So the element you want on your Kuva Nukor is actually magnetic. If you want to build it for priming, if you want it for DPS, other DPS like heat or impact, to use it with hemorrhage or Cascadia flare. In fact, this magnetic actually also works with Cascadia. As far as I've seen, toxin doesn't work really well. I mean, it doesn't synergize well. Also, the reason for magnetic is you have to really mess around with the weapon a lot. With this build, you're actually going to have four elements: heat, radiation, magnetic. Magnetic, that is the innate from the Kuva lich itself. Heat, we're going to add. Viral, we're going to add. Radiation is the base from the new core itself, and there's in fact a special fifth hidden element of microwave. The game doesn't show it at all, but there is that one. So in terms of priming, Kuva Nukor is really great. Even if you're using for galvanized shot, right? Basically like condition overload, but for your weapons. So it really works great with that one as well. I have included the build. The DPS build is just that. I will highly recommend getting magnetic, if you're especially using for priming. If you're using for DPS, heat works really well. You can take impact with the hemorrhage mod. Feel free to have fun. So taking a look at the priming build, we're going to have four elements as I promised on the new core: heat, radiation, magnetic, and viral. We're also going to have multi-shot, fire rate. We're going to need some status duration if you want the enemies to last a bit longer with the element. Sure shot, again, status chance. What we're basically building the primer is for status, as much as status as you can. Priming build doesn't actually include any galvanized mods, so you don't see any galvanized mod. We're basically just pumping out status. Only status is frostbite and toxin, viral, heat, radiation is from the weapon itself, and the magnetic comes from the Kuva. Now, Seeker is a really good mod, especially if you want like punch through. Like you can prime a lot more enemies with Seeker. You can try out different mods in place of this. So feel free to have fun with it. Pistol ammo mutation, because recently since the actually changed the amount of ammo that drop, I find pistol ammo mutation really useful. So yeah, that is the priming build. So let's see how it works. Yeah. So you see, just instantly rocks all the elements on it, because we have status chance around 185, so it's like really fast on the proccing. It stacks as well. That's the best thing about it. As you can see, sadly radiation, magnetic, and viral doesn't stack at all much, but heat does keep on increasing. We actually use this heat stacking technique to actually get Cascadia flare as well, which we'll be seeing in just a second with the DPS build. But yeah, as you can see, even with this particular build, you're just melting the enemies because of the heat drops itself. What he does is basically it armor strips and deal damage, and after a point, after the armor has been stripped, it deals directly damage. So this is the reason it's really a great option if you want to use for killing the enemy. New core really works well with condition overload. For primary, there's galvanized aptitude, so let's see how it fares against a weapon that has galvanized aptitude built in itself. That is the Cedo. Let's take a look. I've built the Cedo for just damage, good damage in fire rate and reload speed. That is all. So proc the enemies and go crazy. So yeah, as you can see, just easily killing the enemies. Even if you use a melee weapon with condition overload. So as of now, I only have condition overload, and speed. That is all that's doing. You do want to change arcanes, by the way. The reason I've actually selected secondary dexterity was because of the combo duration, especially that this works really well with melee. So it really is helpful, especially if you're building for Peru or anything that's going to need a lot of combo duration, especially chorus static as well. You can actually go for dexterity arcanes. So you have a lot of combo duration, so it really helps that as well. If you don't want, you can actually go for secondary merciless if you are building for DPS, or DPS actually works really well with this area plan as well. We'll in just in a second. Feel free to try around with different stuff. This is just a basic build that I'm giving because I personally prefer it. I like it. You can change it to your liking if you prefer different elements on it. So feel free to play with it. So taking a look at the DPS build, you'll see it's very similar but not galvanized diffusion multi-shot, but it does increase multi-shot per kill because we are using this as a DPS. We're not going to use as just primer. It is a primer come DPS build. Really love to use multi-shot and fire rate, and this time we're actually using expel grenade. You can use prime version. I didn't have it, so I'm using the base one. Galvanized shot, status chance, plus, like I said, basically condition overload for weapons, 40% direct damage for status, and this stacks up to 3 times. It is crazy amount of damage. Viral heat and more heat because we are building heat status effect damage. Area flare just basically melts the enemies. It's really, and of course, prime ammo mutation for the reasons. So let's see how it tests against grenades. You might notice the difference already between the primer build and the DPS build. Because the thing is, the more heat status you have, the more damage it's going to deal. Capped at 400% across. So the primary damage here is heat itself. Just kill it. You do love to use Saryn. Just activate Toxic Lash. So along with all these 5 elements, heat, radiation, magnetic, viral, and microwave, which is the 5th hidden one, you get a toxin element on it as well, which really helps a lot, especially in Tenno. And if you want to go even more crazier, you can use the Venom Dose Augment on Saryn. Just put on Strength and Duration. Of course, Molt Augmented helps in building up that strength as well. Once you have more than 250 kills, it goes up by 60%, so that is not helpful as well. So I have Toxic Clash on, I have Venom Dose on for corrosive. We have a total of 7 elements. Of course, the Venom Dose is really powerful. It doesn't even let the Escaria Flare really multiple. Like a Hellcat. So this is the fun part of Nukor, actually using it for DPS instead of just priming. Just help. I know I say this a lot, but this is literally help. Also, another fact, I haven't even activated my board. Let's take a look. What crazy is I don't think the roar is even necessary. By the way, this Saryn build is actually coming out really soon. Be sure to subscribe if you want to take a look at it, if you want to get notified. So yeah. So far, that is the 2 builds for Nukor, the primer one and the DPS. Feel free to have fun with it. So that is it for this video. I hope you found it useful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did so, like, share, and subscribe. It does help the channel a lot. I hope to see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.